Welcome back to Stationeers, and I've done a bit more work on our furnace. Now, the stuff I've been doing is been mostly the stuff I showed you at the end of last episode, along with what I was talking about last episode. It's basically a reproduction of this system, Schmitt trigger, to control those wall heaters. So up here at the top, we've got exactly the same setup. The only difference is, for now, just to get the values somewhere high, I've set the low one. Oops. Now, I'll come back to why this block is here in a minute. The low one to 1200, the high one to 1300. So basically, this thing will shut off the wall heaters at 1300 and will re-enable them when they hit 1200. And if you want me to go through that again, just briefly, it's the interaction between this compare unit and the select unit. The select unit is looking at the compare unit, and the compare unit is comparing the temperature of the room. Although maybe we should change that to the temperature of the tank. But that's a quick change to make. To, in this case, the select. And the select is looking at both 1300 and 1200. Right now it's set to 1300. So as soon as that hits 1300, it's going to switch to the 1200, and this will just wait for that to happen, and then around we go. Something I've also found, I've put up these consoles, and the consoles just let me see at a glance without having to get the computer out, the tablet out, that is, to see what we're currently at. We're currently at 450 degrees centigrade, Celsius, and pressure is in the room about 18.9. Now, I've changed these values slightly to 18 and 20. I thought, why don't, and you'll, yeah, before I get to that, I've also taken the volume pump out because it's not needed. This can always pressurize the output side. And if it can do that, then we don't need the volume pump to depressurize the room. So I thought, why don't we just increase the gas inside there? Maybe make heat transfer a little better. I did that. The passive vent right there, it spontaneously combusted. And at that point, there's no way to evacuate the room without opening the doors. And as soon as you open the doors, you've got hundreds of degrees hot gas coming out at you, so you have to stand right over here and do that. So leave this quite low, and I may have to even reduce it further. It depends just what that pressure, that passive vent can actually stand up to. Why it's spontaneously combusted, I'm not too worried about. As long as it doesn't do it in the future, that's the main thing. And you'll see the temperature, this second row, sorry, I should explain, the top row is the temperature of the room. The second row is the temperature of the tank, because you can just directly plug into the tank like that and see what it is. So temperature, temperature and pressure, and they're both building. And this bottom one is going to be for the furnace. I just ran out of glass sheets for the furnace. Now, why is this block here? Well, you'll see I've also redone the pipes. So instead of running across here and across here, they both go into this block behind, but I can't actually get them any more into the block. And the same thing around the back. Let's just have a look around the back, see if I can get here. I've sealed, remember that pressure regulator I had right about there? I've sealed that inside a block because its output is also that hot gas line. And we're going to seal as much of this as we can do inside solid blocks. The only exception here, I just wish there was a kind of wall or an insulating layer that could let me put a wall like that up without having to build a block like this to get to accessible controls. So I just want the front plate of this to be accessible, but these to be insulated. If a developer's listening, that would be a good idea. Even if I had to spend more money, maybe it's something to do with more materials. Maybe it's just something to do with how it calculates things on a per block basis, I suspect, in the code. And that's why we may have to do this. So I've put this block here because once I'm happy, and in fact I'm happy now, we can seal this in, because those shouldn't need changing their settings unless we need to evacuate the room, which hopefully I don't need to. What was I looking for? The welder. There we go. There we go. So if I was building this again, maybe I'd set those inside this block or something along those lines. I may still move them later. That's perfectly possible for me to do. But for now, just so that I get some power efficiency, I'm going to leave them like that. And that means that we're not going to lose as much heat to the atmosphere by not having exposed pipes. And that in turn means, well, it's nicer for my batteries. Now, batteries. I don't have enough solar panels to keep those heaters running all the time. once they get to temperature, it's not going to be much of a problem because they'll only come on every so often and it won't be an issue. But right now, well, it's just gone dark. These are going to start depleting. To stop that, I've just plugged in our solid generator up at the top here. And solid generators produce 20 kilowatts, I think. It's certainly a lot more than those heaters. I think it's 20 kilowatts. And that's just plugged into the back here. But when you plug in one of these, it's very wasteful if you don't have enough battery capacity to essentially use it. So I've not got anything in there. We can set up something that electronically controls this kind of thing, but because I've got 5 batteries already, once I get low, you know, maybe down to like 1 full battery or something, I can just shove a stack of coal up there, and that will start charging the batteries, even though they're also being drained by our system over here. So it's okay, and I can go and get the coal for now. It's just really to bootstrap the system. I don't need to do that long term. It's just something, yeah, definitely a short term thing. The other thing I was thinking of, at some point, I'm not quite happy with those radiators if I need to get into this often, because as soon as I open this door, well, not right now, but as soon as I open this door, once it's been evacuated in there, it's going to expose it to the Martian atmosphere, which is going to get straight to those radiators, and the cooling happens really quite quickly. So some kind of shut-off valve or something like that, that's going to be annoying because of the way they are at the moment. I may have to put pipes down into the floor, extending through the bottom of those, and then have just a single pipe section here, maybe with a valve or something along those lines, or electronically controlled valve, if we have to access it often. I'm hoping never to really need to that much, so okay for the moment. And we're around about 500 degrees, so we're going to have to go quite a lot hotter than that, but the overpressure system to keep this room from causing problems, shall we say, with anyone who walks by, is actually working fine. Even though they're sealed inside that block now. Good. All right, so what do we need to go to next? We need to look at the furnace itself. And there's the volume pump I no longer need. Yep, so we need to look at the furnace itself. We're going to need to fill that to a certain amount, or a certain degree. So we're going to need some way of essentially, is that actually the hot side? That will be the hot side as well. So I'm going to have to put the block around here. Let's just double check. I think that is. Yes, it is. So we're going to have to insulate that as well. And probably this. I guess we can try and put it right here or something like that. But if we electronically control this anyway, we don't have a problem because the whole thing can be sealed inside blocks. So I'm going to need to build some more blocks. But before we do that, there's only one volume pump on this network now. The rest are all pressure regulators, so the electronics should be quite simple. And we can probably put them up there because, you know, it's close enough to this, I think. What we're going to need to do, or at least the starting position should be, I have a switch, like, say, this one. And if I have this switch, let's just set it to not dial, not button, lever. Lever or switch will do the job. And why won't you let me put you anywhere here? Nope, you're not having it. I don't have enough space. Maybe I should just put another block there. 2 ticks. Let's just get a couple of blocks. And I'll need to seal that back unit in anyway, so we can probably seal it now. Steel frames. Let's just build 2 or 3. And you'll see already, just in the time I've been talking, one of the batteries is depleted. We've got a second battery that's depleted. These 2 are still green, but that won't last for very long. Okay, we're going to need, yeah, I want to say 3. Just wait for that to finish. There we go. So I'm going to put a block underneath our coal tank. No, I'm not, because I need to get rid of the flooring. Yeah, there we go. So now I'm going to put a block underneath here. And I'm going to put one around the back as well. Well, 2 actually. And we should be okay just sealing that in now, I think. And later, obviously, once the furnace is in operation, we can seal these pipes in as well. We don't have to do it straight away because there's nothing in them right now. And let's just grab, where's those steel sheets? I could have swore I left some of that. There we go. And let's get the welder. I'm going to completely seal that in. Hot side, yeah, I am. And we'll need to do it at the back as well, but I don't have enough steel sheets at the moment, but that's one, and we'll do the other one a little bit later. In fact, I'll do it now off camera. Okay, here we go. We've got a lever, and I don't think we can get any closer because it won't let us build there. Okay, so we've got a lever, and what we're going to do is read the value of that lever, and so that means probably I need to just disconnect you. Let's just pull that out for a second. Yes, they're going to complain. Not for very long though, hopefully. Four-way junction, please. And yeah, let's realize everything's okay. So we'll have this lever right next to our furnace sort of settings, and I need to go and just make a couple of glass sheets, which won't take very long at all. I just want to hook up the furnace while we're actually doing this, so let's just get the glass sheets from there. It's going to want silicone, which I've got plenty of. Yeah. And let's build some glass sheets while I just check on. Yep, I've got some gold, so that's my mining done. Just means I can make more heavy cable. 2 glass sheets enough? Actually, 2 will be enough, but I'll just take a third. And then we can just complete these bottom ones. There we go. I do like consoles. So if we're going to do that, then we're going to need to be able to read something, which means I'm probably going to need to I'm going to need to unweld that at some point, or I will need to run cable. Maybe I should just run the cable around to the top. That might be nicer than trying to sort this out any other way. So we're going to want the heavy cable, just because everything's safer if I don't have to connect things any other way. So let's just send it this way, shall we? And let's send it straight. And hopefully, do hate the way this works sometimes. Hard for it to snap to the right position. And I think we're going to go around, maybe we should just go around this corner here, make this a 3-way corner. Looks about the right kind of size, so let's just grab that. It's going to complain at me probably. 3-way corner. There we go. That should be reconnected now. And then we can just hook the rest up to this with straight and corners. So, whoops. Three. And is that going to be a corner or the next one? Probably the next one. There we go. And clearly I'm going to need more cable pretty soon. However, that is the furnace hooked up. I've got 1 cable left. Fair enough. So now we should be able to read that. So if we just grab a data disk. Did I bring that with me? I did. Good. We can put the data disk in. Turn this on, and then we can have choice of what we want to select. We want the temperature mode. We want to see if we can see the furnace. I think we should be able to. Oops, there it is, right at the very top. And that means essentially nothing at the moment, but that's okay. That's exactly what we hope to get. Bottom. There we go. All the way to the very top. So pressure is 0. Temperature means nothing because pressure is 0. And we've got a way to monitor our furnace. Good. So now all we need is to basically sense when this lever is set to 1, and let's rename this then. So let's say fill furnace. Very simple electronics is just to get a logic writer and set the volume pump to on if we do that. So do I have a writer? I do have a writer. We can put it right here on here. Let's just see, not a batch writer, just a logic writer. And I want to read the input, and I need to get power and everything else. Actually, we can just probably do that. Seems pretty simple. And now I need more cable. Yeah, I'm going to just set that going actually, so that while we're doing stuff, it will make more cable, because there's lots of gold in there now, at least for the moment. Cable coil heavy, and go. Okay, so what do you think of the furnace setup so far while that's actually making? There are probably some improvements we can make, and indeed we can have two separate furnaces just filling from that same line back there, so that is not a problem. However, we may need to vary the temperature and the temperature in another tank or something along those lines to fill a second furnace. Not quite sure yet. We'll see what we need to get to. Any improvements you can think of? There's obviously the Schmitt trigger. If you're not familiar with Schmitt triggers, I did do a slower construction video on that. So if you want to go back and watch that, just look at the hydroponics videos. Very straightforward once you get it going, but until then it's just complete mystery to a lot of people. I think eventually I'd like to extend this so I can just push an invar button or push a button for something else, and it will just fill automatically. We also maybe want some way of putting chutes in and pulling stuff out. For the moment, I'm not that concerned, as we can probably get to it once this is sealed in the back. We should be able to still get to the front, and that will do the job just fine. But improved control later would be cool. But we don't use alloys that much at the moment, or at least until we get those changes with the new filters. So I'm a bit ambivalent about that at the moment. And we're up to 600 degrees, and it's daytime again. Okay, are we keeping ahead, or how's our batteries situation looking? Now we're down to, well, we've got 3 empty batteries. So let's just go and grab something to top things up. Just 12 coal or something like that. That will do. Repeated jetpack. Oh, nearly killing me all the time, but other than that's fine. Yep, there it goes. And that should start charging them. You'll see it's already started charging them. And we can get going from there. Okay, now I should have enough cable. Yeah, this is going to be enough for today. Let's just turn that off, I think. 22, 23, that'll do. And this should be quite a simple change. So here we can just put a corner. And then we want the output on a corner. Oops, point it this way. T-junction. Corner. And then we're just going to need another T-junction right there where we put this in the first place. In fact, I don't even need that. I can just put a straight there, can I? Because I'm not reading it off that side. Fine. There we go. So we just need our screwdriver. We want to read the fill furnace lever. I didn't even need to call it anything really, because it's only connected to one thing. And then we're going to go to the output. We don't want the consoles. We want the volume pump. It's in here somewhere. There we go. And we want the on state. Let's do that. Okay, now let's test this. I'm going to lose some gas by doing it, but hey, let's just push that. And you'll see the temperature is immediately pretty much the same as these. And the pressure is quite low. All right, there we go. So we can just read that off. Yep, the pressure is only 300. And it will be going out of the back because this is open, remember. And it should be going up to here. Now this is the other last bit of the problem, in that I can't really enclose this in a block if I want to be able to get to its filters. I mean, I'm not using the filters too often, but you get the idea. I'm going to need to have a room. Now, I could put it in a room, but still a bit odd. But yeah, we could surround this with walls and a door or something up here. Seems to be a bit of a waste, but I can't really. I mean, we can just move those pipes down into this block a little bit. I can't put it there. I'd have to reroute that cable, because you have to go across like this. You can't go across corner pipes with a cable. So that is something that we can think of putting the same kind of setup up here as we have. Where is it? I have that set up. Well, let's just get that's on the top of here. I've got a setup somewhere to automatically. It must be on the atmospherics there. I think it's under that right there. In that we're going to watch for this pressure being above, I don't know, above 10, above 20, something like that. As soon as it is, turn this filtration unit on. Otherwise, turn it back off. And then that will hopefully keep our filter unused for the most part. Although I did get someone saying that it depends on what you put through the filter, not how much time it's on. But in any case, having this only turn on when needed is just something I quite like the idea of. It may not necessarily be power saving because filtration units don't actually take up that much power. Hopefully at some point it will save filters, but we'll have to see. I'll have to do some actual tests. To test it, all you really need to do is put, I don't know, turn a filter on with... you'd have to put the input pipe with a pressure regulator feeding it quite slowly and have the tank be a certain value to start off with that you're feeding into this pressure regulator, and then you just leave it on. And once the tank empties all the way, you see what your filter is up to. That's my backpack going off. You see what your filter is up to, and then you put a new filter in, refill the tank, and this time just disconnect pull the pressure regulator out and just put a straight pipe and see what happens. And if it depletes at the same rate, then cool. You know that it's just about the quantity of moles going through the filter. If it's much higher durability on the tank without the pressure regulator, you know that it's worthwhile putting pressure savings systems in filtration saving systems, whereby it only processes once the pressure passes a certain value and otherwise it's off. So if anyone wants to try that, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I may well try it, but probably not on camera. It's one of those tests that it's worthwhile just telling you the results rather than building a system for it. What was I over here for? Oh yes, my backpack. Let's just grab you. That's my jetpack. That's my light. Let's just swap that over. There we go. Not that we need it in daytime, but it's fine otherwise. There we go. Alright, so what else have we actually got to do here? Really, at the moment, it's just keep on feeding that power system. We've got everything else set up now, and then we can literally walk over to this lever, pull this, and see where we want to get to for any particular alloy. And then we're done, pretty much, I think. Yeah. Actually, no, the system needs to be a little bit more complicated than the one for our atmospheric input system. We're going to need another lever or another means of telling this whole system that we're done with the furnace, because we can't just say when it's above a certain pressure or temperature, because that will happen as soon as the furnace fills up, and then this will try and suck all the gas out straight away. So we're going to have to put another lever in action somewhere. I don't have a lever on me, but you get the idea. I'm going to put it, maybe, should we put it next to the furnace? Because we have, it's all mostly going to be enclosed apart from maybe a lever here. And we can just use this as the I'm finished with furnace lever on this wall that will be here. And then we'll read that up here. And what we'll need to do is do an and. Maybe actually... Which one do we want? We want the lever. Well, we can have a lever either way. It just means I'm going to want to... Yeah, if we have it in 0, that's fine. Because, sorry, well, let me explain what I'm thinking about rather than actually just thinking about it. If we have the lever up, or i.e., you know, like this, it's going to be set to 0. So if we do an and, all we need to do is watch for whenever the pressure's over a certain value. So... and in fact, we could just even we may not even need the pressure and temperature sensing. We could probably just grab the lever's value and turn this on, which would make this much simpler. Why don't we look at that? Let's just see if I've got a Logic IO somewhere. Yeah, Logic IO will do the job. And then we'll just connect it into the rest of the system. I don't even need that memory unit. We can take that back off again in a minute. And rotate this. Yeah, that'll do the job. Writer? Yeah, writer will do. Okay. And we're going to need a bit more cable. So let's just grab this. Let's just go for a T-junction here. Three-way junction is the call on the heavy side of things. Oh, it's four-way junction, isn't it? Because that's where it's... Yeah, that's where it's power's entering. And let's just put this to here. Three-way junction again. And again. And just a couple of corners remaining. Okay, we can put that in the backpack. And then I just need to make one switch, which will be the electronics machine. Hopefully I haven't used up all the gold. I don't think I have. I should have plenty left. Let's just have a look. Electronics machine, find recipe. It's going to be logic something. Logic switch. Yep, let's just make one. And what do we have here? Miscellaneous iron, lead, silver, electrum. Electrum's probably the lowest, so when we start making alloys, I'm going to need to build that soon enough. Okay, and then we just need to put this somewhere, which probably means I may need to weld up. Do I have any plate left? I probably don't have any plate left. I'm going to need some of that. But that's a very quick build as well. I almost need some way of running faster than this. Let's just do steel sheets. And then I'm going to need more cable, aren't I? I've got 8. That's probably not going to be enough. So let's just set it off at going doing that again. Cable coil heavy. Shut you off. I don't need this many. Get our welder out again and then just finish off this side of things. So you can... yeah, we can just pull off the top of that cable, can't we? We don't need to worry about it. So if we have the lever here, doesn't much matter where here. Again, let's put it into a lever mode and put a corner on the top of it. Just straight. And actually, I might have enough cable. Miracles never cease. Three-way junction. There we go. So we need to call this something. It doesn't matter much what. Let's say evac furnace. And then we're just going to watch for evac furnace up here. So we need the screwdriver. Evac furnace, and then the output is going to be this filtration unit. So where are you? Should be in here somewhere. Filtration. On state. Turn this on. And it's going to watch. And if I just pull this lever. Yeah, that's working. Cool. So then we have a look at this. It should be at 0. It is. We can just close that again. You could even set this to be a button, just like we've got over there with the computer, and then just have a timer start when the button, or countdown timer. I've shown that in the season 1 before. You push a button and it will just, or even just turn that on and then check and turn it back off again when it hits pressure 0. So that's easy. You don't even need a timer then. So yeah, I think we've got it pretty much complete. We just have to get it up to temperature. So I'm not going to show you much more here. This is probably the end of the episode. We are about time. And next episode, I'll just show you it working, shall I? We'll just make some alloys at the start of the episode. It just has to get up to temperature first for that. And I'm going to need to feed more coal. Which probably means I need to just mine more coal, to be honest. I don't need all that steel at the moment for the current builds, but it might be useful for the future. let's just get that in and producing. There you go. And it's already up towards 600 degrees anyway, so it's not going to take that much longer to get up to ideal temperatures. Too much cable. I never thought I'd say that, but especially not with heavy cable, but I had to do a lot of gold mining. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this episode. If you've liked it, feel free to like, subscribe and share, etc. Do let me know if you've got any improvements. Otherwise, you know, I'll probably just add an automatic button at some point for various alloys. But it will work otherwise for the moment. And of course, just seal all of as much of this in as I can, including any kind of output gases. I will also have to run a pipe from here down into the ground and around to our atmospheric system, but I don't care if this pipe is visible. It doesn't matter at all because we want it to be low temperature anyway for the rest of our atmospherics. Only this short piece of pipe matters, and maybe we should put this in a room with just walls or something, because yeah, I still need to access that gas filter. Slightly annoying. I want some kind of chute-enabled system for atmospheric units. Yeah. Alright, so thanks a lot for watching, as always, guys, and we will see you next time for some more Stationeers.